We are live.
So right now you can do the intro, right? Hey y'all, this is Keith Strickland. I apologize. I thought our intro was playing, but I want to thank you guys for joining us tonight. And tonight we having a special conversation. This is something that's really, really, really special to me, important to me. Something I feel like we need to have a conversation about. And what this is that we're gonna have a conversation with law enforcement agents, and we're gonna talk to them about what they feel about the Black Lives Matter movement, and then we're gonna talk to them about how they feel first as a black man, and then as an officer about what's going on across the country, about the people who are losing their lives, about the different things going on in the community, about how all of this is putting our community in a place where we seeing people just get tired, we seeing unrest. And you know what, y'all? I apologize, I forgot the intro didn't play. This is Change Agents for Social Justice. It's hosted by myself, Keith Strickland, and by Josh Powell. Josh Powell is a two-time championship NBA player and champion hero who goes across the country and makes life better for all kind of people. No, I'm just playing. But Josh Powell is a dope dude, man. Father, um, like I said, NBA champion, activist, business owner, and just a good guy. And what we talk about here is we talk about different ways to be able to create impacts right in your community, no matter where you are, no matter what resources you have, so that we can make our community better, so we can create a better life for our families, so that we can change the black community. So Josh, you want to give a little background on yourself and talk about why you do this and why you also?
I just, I just think, for myself, just the part of giving back, and how important that is. And not only with giving back, but making sure that, people are educated, that they're aware of the things that are going on in their communities. One of the things that's near and dear to me and my biggest reason, also my why, is for my kids. I want them to grow up in a better place, whether if it's in our community where we live or whether it's just worldwide, no matter where they go or end up, moving forward. So I'm actually really excited about, today's conversation because I know that, we've been having a lot of really good, powerful discussions. But I think this one, especially with where the climate is, and as of late, because it seems like it's just been more and more of the injustices and things like that going on. So I look forward to today, like for real. Like I think it's gonna educate a lot of people and give a different perspective on things that they see or how things are handled moving forward.
Yeah, I do too. And I think also that it's not just going to educate people, it's going to spark conversations that need to be had from all kind of different perspectives, right? It's going to let people be able to know how to start the dialogue that might be uncomfortable with other people in their community, right? Because at the end of the day, if we don't start the dialogue, if we don't get to a place where we're talking about stuff, if we feel uncomfortable to address certain things, nothing's ever going to change. If we don't know how to look at it from other people's perspective and be able to see, even if we don't agree where somebody's coming from, nothing's going to change. So I definitely agree. I want to give a shout out to my buddy over at Pure Party Bus. Now, Josh, this is a surprise to you too. I need to tell you about this. But we got a party bus now that we're gonna start doing the show from, right? So that way we can go into the city and we can actually let people be a part of the conversation. So if we trying to, uplift the community, why not take it to the community, right? So now we can bring on different people, have them on the party bus, so we can have a real conversation. Be able to take the bus directly to the neighborhood, so people can join in and they can, and also let us see from their perspectives what they think about this. Because it ain't just me, it ain't just you, it's all of our families, it's all of our communities, all across the country. You know what I'm saying? Like, not just even people of color, because we share these same cities together. So if we doing bad or we got unrest, like right now when you have riots, it ain't just affecting one community, it's affecting all of us. You know what I'm saying? When a life is lost, we all feel that impact. So we all need to be a part of the conversation. We all need to be a part of the solution. You feel me? So I'm super excited about this. As you can
No,
see,
absolutely.
so we gonna be able to have fun and be able to change the word at the same time. You feel me?
Absolutely.
So I guess we can go ahead and start bringing our people in. I got Sergeant Sparks. who is a law enforcement officer. If you don't mind, click Sergeant Parks in, let him give a little background on who he is, talk about how he got into law enforcement. And go get. Okay. Okay. Officer Sparks, are you there? Did you click in yet? Okay. Hey Josh, do you mind clicking in Sergeant Sparks? All right, I just got informed that we got a lag. Okay. All right, there you go, Officer Sparks. Do you mind cutting on your video and your mic so we can hear you, brother? Right, there we go.
All right.
Thank you for taking time to join us tonight, brother. How you doing this evening?
I'm awesome, brother. How you all doing? How you doing, Mr. Powell?
Good, brother. Good to see you.
Awesome. Glad to be here. Thanks for the invite, Keith.
Thank you. Hey, if you don't mind, can you give a little background on who you are, what you do, and how long you've been in law enforcement?
Wow. Okay. I'll do it very quickly if I can. First and foremost, I'm a native Atlantan, educated in the APS school system, graduated Morehouse College, as you can see in the background, back in 1980. Been started out in corporate America for about 20 years, got a degree in banking and finance and minor in management. Wanted to do something a little bit different in life. God put a calling on my life. So I joined law enforcement, City of Atlanta, via the Department of Corrections in the early 2000s. And did that for about 7 years. And then I moved to College Park and became a law enforcement officer there, where I have been blessed to be just a regular street cop, street beat cop. And then I was actually promoted to community policing unit, which has become very dear to my heart. And then I got blessed again and got promoted to director of security of the Georgia International Convention Center, as well as the Gateway Center Arena for the new home of the Skyhawks, the College Park Skyhawks. Mr. Powell, you may be familiar with that.
Yes, sir.
But been very involved with, and I'm also a chaplain for the police department. So I've been very involved and been very blessed to be in this community at College Park, very close-knit community. And it's just been a pleasure. It's been trying the last couple of years for obvious reasons, but I'm glad to be a part of this format. I met Keith a couple of months ago at another platform, and I was so impressed with his story that I told him, and I told you, Keith, anytime you need me, I'll be there for you. I'm a father as well as a husband. I have a beautiful wife that supports me, and I have two black boys, two black sons that are 17 and 19 years old, 20 years old, about to be 21. So they're in that age that they're out there. And I'm trying to educate them and say, hey, keep your eyes, ears open, got to be woke.
Officer Sparks, first I want to tell you, as a brother, I appreciate you. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of times we not giving credit where it's due, but you've been an officer for longer than a lot of our younger people have been alive. And from day one, you've been connected and committed to the community. Not just making sure that people go to jail when they commit a crime, but also making sure people feel safe and they represented in their community. So I applaud you for that. And I appreciate you for seeing me as a convicted felon who turned my life around and saying, however I can help, I got your back.
Amen.
A lot of people don't get that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sir,
a lot of people could look at me and look at my background. I sold drugs for almost as long as you've been an officer. And they could look at me and be like, look at all the damage I did on the street, because your job was to find people like me and put me away. But when you see me doing the right thing, now we can be, we can work together. Right. So
Absolutely.
People can understand that it's a lot more to all of this. Every officer out here does not hate you, and very few do. When we see the bad officers, y'all dislike them even more than we do, because they go against everything y'all risk y'all life over. Absolutely. So I really just want to commend y'all for that. And I just want to say thank you also, from one brother to another. I appreciate you.
Yes,
you know
sir.
what I'm saying? It's coming from somebody that's been arrested over 50 times. I've been robbed by police officers. I've had bad experiences, right? But I appreciate you because you are the exception. You are the person who says, we're going to make this right for everybody. We're going to make every community equitable. We're going to make the quality of life what people deserve it to be. So I really just want to, you know, they say give people their flowers while they can smell them. You know what I mean? So I don't want to wait. I want to tell you right now, brother, I salute you and I'm proud of you and I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you, Jeff.
Can we click on Officer Shaft? I hope I ain't saying that. Yeah, I didn't even catch that one. We got Officer Shaft. I'm sure he gets that way too much. I'm not even gonna do that, Joe. Or maybe I might not. It just depends. I might catch one. All right. Are you on here, sir? Can you cut your mic on so we can hear you? All right, there you go. How you doing this evening? You want to introduce him, Josh?
There we go.
You on, Mario?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I met Officer Shaft. I know him as my big brother though. He's like family to me. I met him many years ago. Just the circle of people that we're around, and I know that now he's retired and moved on to doing more, security for a lot of our influencers and people of the city. So I just know I respect him very much. So he's very raw and uncut, but he's a genuine, amazing brother. And I thought he was someone perfect to have for this conversation. So, Brother Mario, come in, and if I missed anything, please let our good people know.
Nah, I mean, that was an awesome introduction, man. So I appreciate you, man. You done talked me up. But I did 13 years with the Atlanta Police Department. I started in 2004. I retired in 2016. It's funny. I retired after being discriminated against by the police department after I started.
Wow.
So I've had bad experiences as a kid. I've had bad experiences as an officer. But, I don't regret any of it because it made me who I am today and it's put me where I am. So I'm here. I'm ready.
Hey, thank you for your service, King. I mean that, man. Like, y'all put y'all life on the line so that people can have the everyday, safeties that a lot of us take for granted. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in the streets, so I know what it's like to have your door kicked in. I know what it's like to go through home invasions. I know what it's like to have your house shot up. I know what it's like to be carjacked. All kind of stuff that does not happen every single day because somebody is protecting your streets. So we can talk about all the bad stuff, which we'll get into that. But I want to let y'all know I appreciate y'all. Because for a black man, sometimes it ain't the easiest thing in the world to do to step up and say, I'm going to put this badge on. But if we don't do it, then all we going to have is people from outside our community coming inside, superimposing on our community. And that's terrorism. You know what I'm saying? So the only way we take the terrorism out is we get involved. Just like we got to get involved in government. We got to get involved in corrections. We got to get involved in the school system. Anything you want to see changed, you only change it by getting in the middle of it. You feel me?
Yeah, I tell people all the time that the KKK stopped hanging us in the street. And what they started doing was raising their children to be doctors and lawyers and judges. Mm-hmm. So when you go to court for that less than an ounce of weed, you're getting 10 years.
Yeah, and that's how I got my first felony conviction at 16 years old, less than an ounce. And you know what ended up happening? I came out with all these fines and with a felony, and now I started selling more drugs because I got to pay the fines. Now I got to pay the probation. I got to pay the restitution. So it's a trap that you just keep getting deeper and deeper and deeper and going further down in your life. But hey, y'all, I want to start off the conversation with the first video. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to play a video. I'm going to let us have a dialogue about the video. Y'all cool with that?
Sure.
Yep.
All right. So let me go ahead and do this, share my screen. Oh, man. Excuse me, Ash. Do you mind making me the host so I can share my screen? Because as of now, I can't do it. We got a super producer in the background that nobody gets to see, but that's Miss Ashley. And Ashley is a person, like all women do for all of us. They're the person that makes sure we don't mess up too bad and we can do what we're trying to do. So, we might have that drive and that motivation, but without our queens, we couldn't do none of this stuff.
Right.
So, like I said, Miss Ashley just fixed it. So let me go ahead and share my screen because that's what they do, man. They make everything work for us. So, so y'all know the format that I was thinking about tonight. I got 3 different videos that I wanted to play, right? Mm-hmm. and each video shows this thing from a different perspective. You know, what is the law enforcement stuff that we're dealing with right now? How does this stuff affect us, and how do we feel? And I just want to share each one of the videos so that we can have a conversation from all the different perspectives, okay?
All right.
So I'm about to play the first video now. Or at least I think I'm about to play the first video. Okay. So you guys let me know if y'all can see.
You're saying you start.
Stop! All of y'all stop! Get your hands up! Up!
Can y'all hear this video?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hear it.
Released body cam video showing the moment an officer pointed his weapon on a group of teenagers in Clayton County. Cell phone video of the incident quickly going viral, drawing criticism and calls for the officer involved to be fired. Nick Sturdivant is live outside the Clayton County Police Department for us this morning. And Nick, we are hearing from one of the boys, and he says he feared for his life, right?
Yeah, that's right, Sheba. Good morning. And at one
Question, guys. Are y'all able to see this video and hear the video?
We can
I
hear.
can hear it, but can't
Oh,
see
you
it.
can hear it, but you can't see it. Okay, I apologize for that. Well, let me do this. Let me just keep playing. Well, let me see if I can fix it so you can see it. Okay, here we go, guys.
point, Kamari Moore fought back tears as he described what happened. He said it should not have gotten to that point. And again, let's take a look at that video, that cell phone video from Monday evening. It has now gone viral. In a police report, the officer says he pulled his gun because he believed one of the teens may have been armed. The boys eventually were released after police did not find any weapons. Clayton County Police released a 911 call from a nearby gas station moments before that teenager stealing items and waving around a gun. Clayton County Police say they found a BB gun resembling a semi-automatic handgun in the bushes by the gas station. Again, we heard from Kamari and his mother, both frustrated by what played out.
I thought I was gonna die because I seen all these black kids just dying, and to have myself in that, it was just crazy.
I actually found out about the video this morning. My daughter, all the way in Ohio, sent me the video. She found out before I found out.
And community activists want Clayton County Police to change its use of force policy. They're also calling for that officer that pulled his gun on that group of teens to be fired.
Okay, guys. So, were you able to see the video and hear the video?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what I want to do is I want to start off by having a discussion about what happened that isn't talked about in that news report, which is that those young men got 2 different calls from the gas station or the convenience store that they were at, where they said that somebody that was working inside of the store said that they saw them with the gun, which ended up being a BB gun. But they called them reporting that they had a weapon on them, right? So a lot of times as civilians, when we see stuff going on and we see the police pull up and they're aggressive, we don't understand that the police are afraid for their life, for one, and for 2, the police are trying to make sure nobody gets injured. Like when we see the police jump out the car, all we're seeing is them jumping out the car. We're not seeing what took place before they pulled up. We're not hearing what they got on that dispatch. We don't know what went on before that took place. So I just want to ask you guys' opinions as law enforcement officers. What's your thoughts on that? What would you have felt if you got a call where you have a group of young men who somebody reported on 2 different calls that they had a weapon on them?
Go ahead, Sarge. You got it.
Oh, okay. You're gonna yield to me. I like that last name though, man. That's my favorite character, Chef. All right. And it's funny you should use that, Brother Keith, because I actually was involved in a scenario like that. That we had got a call on a burglary call, and a young black male was walking down Roosevelt Highway with a shotgun, what appeared to be a shotgun, and they had just reported a couple of streets over that somebody's house that got kicked in, and door got kicked in with a person that had a shotgun. And as I was approaching the situation, I'm like, oh my God, I was on a lunch break, so I had to stop eating real quick and get into police mode. And as I was going down, I spied the young man, and I called radio out, and I said, radio, I think I got the subject in sight, blah, blah, blah. And I said, repeat the call again. And they said that he had a weapon, appeared to be a shotgun, pump shotgun. And he fit the description of somebody that had just kicked in the door 2 streets over. So of course, my ears are up, adrenaline is pumping, and I'm nervous because here I am about to get ready to get into a possible life or death situation. Well, as I approach him, I get backup start coming. So we give the command. I jump out of my car, take cover, and I start giving the command, get down, show me your hands, show me your hands. And he hesitated, like he was about to like bring the gun up like this. And, you know, I got to be honest with you, sweat, adrenaline, tunnel vision, shaft, you know about all that. You get into that, and I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna have to shoot this kid because I know he got a gun, and it's a sawed-off shotgun, a pump shotgun. So just thank God that, you know, I was able to de-escalate before this became a catchphrase. I was able to talk to him and say, look, but put it down. Don't do that. You're surrounded. Don't do that. So he laid the gun down. All the whole time, I didn't even know that it was a shotgun. I mean, a BB gun. That's what it ended up being, an airsoft shotgun.
Wow.
But it looked so real.
Wow.
And I told him, I said, dude, you don't, man, what are you doing? So that scenario I'm very familiar with. And just thank God that I was able to de-escalate. And I'm not trying to make myself look like a hero or anything. I was just blessed that God gave me the tone of voice and the patience and the eye to look at him and say, don't do it. Put it down. And he was terrified. He was about 16 years old. And he said he was out shooting squirrels, and it was actually somebody else that kicked in the door. So it was conflicting stories. We eventually caught the person that was kicking in the door, but he's walking down Roosevelt Highway with a sawed-off shotgun, you know. So what appeared to be
something? I apologize to interrupt. It was something in the young man's video press conference that that caught me when he said when he was put in that situation, right? Mm-hmm. It made him feel very uncomfortable because he didn't know what was going to happen to him. And what I was thinking in my head was, think about how many people could have saw, like you said, a young man with that sawed-off shotgun, and they didn't know what would have happened to them, right? Now, understand, I come from the generation of Red Dog. When they would stop us in the street, pat us down, and no matter how old you was, y'all know Red Dog.
I know very well.
I'm not trying to defend and say that this stuff is all good and okay. I'm saying that it's different perspectives to it, man. When I was in middle school, Red Dog used to stop us with a chrome 12 gauge. Put that 12 gauge in your head, stop, pat you down every single day. Like, you don't just know me from yesterday. Like, you don't know me from 2 hours ago. And you talking about a kid and you put a 12 gauge to him. So I'm saying there's more than one side to it, but we got to see it from all the perspectives. Because y'all got families too. Y'all got to get home to y'all families. Until we see all the angles of it, nothing's going to change if we can't all see each other's perspectives, right? Exactly. My jaw been broken for being hit with a pistol by a police officer while in handcuffs. So believe me, I'm not trying to sugarcoat like it ain't bad and it don't happen. But you got to understand, when you come out the house with that BB gun that is made to look like a real weapon, nobody but you knows that's a BB gun. Nobody but you knows you 16. You get what I'm saying? Nobody but you know you shooting squirrels. Nobody knows this. And when you pull up on that person, you're gonna think about your life and your other people's lives and the innocent people who are just riding up and down the streets. Like, nobody knows what's gonna happen in 10 minutes, but you're trying to make sure that there is a 10 minutes for everybody. Right? If you got anything you want to throw, you want to jump in on that, Josh, or Officer Shaft, and I can't help it, I'm gonna call you Officer Shaft every time, brother. It's too easy not to go there. It's too easy not to do it. But if y'all want to jump in, man, I'd love to hear y'all perspectives on it too, because this next video we're gonna watch, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna change it up a little bit. But I want to, y'all got something y'all want to share.
I just real quick, if I can, before Mario goes, I just want to give people the perspective. No matter what video we watch, I think it's important to understand that we got to have everything before we start making accusations or allowing the emotions to get so far away from us. You know, because that clip that you showed, I believe, you know, T.I. was somebody that kind of spoke on that and had a real strong opinion, you know, about the officer. And, you know, I know with him, you know, comes a lot of other people who was in support of him losing his job, but not understanding that, you know, the officer did a great job. Like that was an example of
amazing job
him doing a great job of not only that, but I think he educated those kids too and had a talking with them, you know, and I think that that's something that's important because nowadays we live in a day and age of social media. So all we get is a clip that starts at 5 minutes and 60 something seconds. You know, we're not getting the whole thing. Even unfortunately with the George Floyd thing, it was like we got one clip and then they started backtracking to show the start of it and when he got pulled out the car and this, that, and the third. So I just think that we got to be patient and willing to want to see what's really going on and why things are happening the way that they are. That doesn't mean that it's right of the other things that are happening, but I think that that's an important thing that I just want to point out.
That's a great point, Josh. Great point, man.
One of the other things that Keith said that was really important is that people don't know what the 911 call was. And a lot of times people lie to 911 to get the police to hurry up.
Yep.
You know, like, and people think it's a small lie, but they don't understand what happens with that lie. And it changes the entire call. It's like when people lie and say somebody's injured on a traffic accident to make them hurry up.
Right.
If you lie, you know, as a store owner, if the store owner lies, and obviously that one didn't because they found a gun near it, whether it was them or not, but some store owners will lie to get the police there fast when the kids are just stealing some potato chips. And so, you know, we already know. So when, like you said, when we get there, we're getting there with this is what's going on. And we're asking radio. Well, at least you should be asking radio. You know, hey, what's that description again?
Mm-hmm.
What did he have on? Where did he have the gun? Did he have it in his hand? Did he have it in his pocket? Mm-hmm. So when you're getting out the car, well, at least I know when I'm getting out the car, I'm looking.
Yep.
Looking while I'm driving up. You know, I'm not going to speed up on them because I'm not trying to run to no gun battle. So as I'm pulling up, I'm watching. I'm asking questions. Hey, radio, I think this is them. You know, how far is back up? What's this going on? Okay, what they have on? Where did they have the gun? Did they have it in their hand? Okay, radio, they ain't got nothing in their hand. How big was the gun? What kind of gun was it? Was it a shotgun? Was it a handgun? Because we know if you got a shotgun, it's harder to conceal a shotgun.
Yeah.
If they say they had a shotgun and it wasn't sawed off, I don't see a shotgun in your hand. It's going to ease my suspicion just a little bit, and it's going to make me approach you different. But this handgun, you can put it anywhere. You know, I don't know if you've seen the video where the guy, he had on a shirt, t-shirt, and jeans. He had like 20 guns. He pulling out stuff out of his pants, rifles out of his pants, and everything. So you can hide them. The problem, I think, is that people don't understand de-escalation. You have to try and de-escalate the situation. And like Sarge said, when he pulled the gun, like, man, I'm gonna have to shoot this kid. And he was able to connect with that kid and talk. And I think that connection comes from the breakdown of us being in the community, and us being able to talk to our own people. You know, we have so much negative history with people from other races, whether it be Caucasian or whatever, that we don't even want to talk to them. Don't talk to me, don't say nothing to me. So it's harder to connect. And so that's why a lot of us need to be in these positions of power, in these positions to help us. Because if we don't help us, ain't nobody gonna help us.
And like I told you, brother, like, I'm sure I'm not the only person that has that experience. Red Dog. I mean, if you was from Atlanta, you get a word Red Dog, you know what it is. Red Dog with terrorists, point blank, period. Point blank. I remember seeing Red Dog shoot somebody, then say stop. Right in my driveway, at my house. I'm walking out the house, getting groceries out my mama's car. Red Dog shot somebody in our driveway and then said, stop. I'm looking at them and they looked at me like, get in the house and catch a bullet. But this is my experience of law enforcement in our neighborhood. My mom has a scar right here on her forehead, right here. Well, my mom was 8 years old and a police officer hit my mom with the back of their rifle in Chicago in the projects. And I'm talking about my mom, a grown woman now. My mom is 4'11". a police officer hit her with the back of the rifle in the forehead because they were trying to chase her brother. They hit her with the back of the rifle. Now, mind you, my mom was 8. My mom is a grown woman now. You still see the scar.
Yeah.
You still see the scar. So how you think that's gonna make me feel when I see blue lights? Or how you think that's gonna make me feel when a police officer like, hey sir, how you doing today? What you think how I'm doing today? I'm doing good. Well, how you doing today, bro? Why you asking me how I'm doing? That's your response, because that's what you've been trained to see them as. And think about trying to de-escalate a situation with a person who already see you as an enemy. That's my whole point of why we gotta have these conversations. Because if we can't see the human behind the badge, and we can't see the human who got the call on them, then both sides are gonna always have animosity and beef, which is just gonna cause more issues.
Scared of the police. We train our kids to be scared of the police at a very young age, whether they 2, 3. And we don't even realize we train them. We tell them, you're gonna be good. The police gonna come take you away and lock you up. You know how traumatizing that is to a 3, 4-year-old? To think somebody is gonna come take them away from their home and lock them up, and they scared of the dark.
Yeah.
So imagine telling them that, and you don't even realize, like you saying police, they don't realize what it is but you're putting that in their subconscious
already.
And they keep hearing it, and they keep hearing it. And then now with social media, you seeing it, they are terrified. It's literally terrified, like shaking. I remember pulling the lady over, and she was so scared. I just told her to just go.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to do that.
Shaking. She was crying like real tears. It wasn't a fake whatever. Like she was really in it. I'm like, you know what? Man, just go. You done punished yourself enough for whatever you done did. The red light, the stop sign, just go. Like it ain't even worth it no more. Like, because all this.
Hey, you know what? Do y'all remember when they closed the projects in College Park? Do y'all remember that?
Yeah.
I know you remember that because that's your area. You remember how many people were displaced because of that? Like when they closed the projects in College Park, there was no plan for that. When they closed that, when that was probably one of the worst closures, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, Officer Sparks. Like that was rough on that community because people lost their homes like that, right?
Right.
I got pulled over and I had crack on me at the time because I was in the streets, right? Police officer finds crack in my car. He asked me where I live. I didn't even live in the project, but I'm like, I don't want to tell the man where I really live because, you know, like, I don't want you to know more about me than what you got to know. So we were right there by the projects, right? Where the projects were before they closed. And this was right when it happened. Man, that man looked at me, man. He said, you know what? I don't know what I would do if my family lived there neither. He said, man, I ain't see you today. Just be safe out here. Didn't take nothing from me. I got a gun on me. I got crack on me. And he was just like, man, go take care of your family. You know what I'm saying? I'm not supporting what you do, but I ain't see you today, right? And I'm sharing these stories because I don't want to talk about the police officer that robbed me and hit me with a pistol and broke my jaw and not talk about the one who saw me as a human and was like, I don't have an answer for you, but I know you're going through it, right? We gotta have a balance of it. We gotta have a balance.
That's funny you say that because I had a kid one time. Put him over, the tag was messed up. And as soon as I got to the car, you know, we tell on ourselves so much when you talk too much.
Right.
The car, he said, man, officer, I ain't gonna even lie to you. My license suspended. Come on, bro. So, long story short, license suspended, whatever. I said, well, call your girlfriend. She couldn't get the car. I don't feel like towing the car. That's extra. You already got all these other issues. But as I'm talking to him, he tries to sneak in and throw some weed on the ground. And it wasn't much, but I said, hey, is that yours? He was like, no. I said, well, I saw you throw it in the camera on the patrol car. I saw you throw it too. So I took him back to the patrol car, showed it to him or whatever. And he looking like, man, I'm sorry, yada, yada, yada. So long story, I wind up letting him go. But I still took the weed and I turned it in the property, but I turned it in as unknown because I didn't want the kid, because if I'd have put his name on it, I'd have to charge him.
Yeah.
I'm cutting the kid a break. I didn't take him to jail. They gave him a ticket. He literally rode in the car away with his girlfriend with the ticket. 3 days later, I get a call from Internal Affairs. Tell me to come down to Internal Affairs. So I go down there. You know, this kid made a complaint on me and said I stole his weed.
Wow.
But see, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, you know what? I don't even have a comment for that. I'm gonna get into our next video, brother, because I don't even have a comment for that, man. Like, but that's why these conversations are so important. We gotta have these conversations. Not one, but we gotta have them. But I want to get into the next video because I want to see y'all's part on this. And this is a video that I honestly think we've all seen, but I just want us to be able to go through it and just talk about it, okay?
Breaking news just in from Atlanta. The police chief just stepping down in the way. Breaking news just in from Atlanta.
Okay.
Breaking news just in from Atlanta.
Okay. I really don't understand how I have a problem with this every time. Like, I just don't get it. Okay, here we go.
The police chief just stepping down in the wake of a deadly officer-involved shooting. Investigators looking closely at this video right here. An attempted arrest in a Wendy's parking lot, turning to a struggle over a stun gun. The suspect then running, turning back towards the officers. Investigators say he pointed that stun gun at them, then one of the officers opened fire. The mayor said she believes it was an unnecessary use of deadly force. ABC's Janae Norman leads us off.
Tonight, this violent struggle that turned deadly is under investigation. Georgia authorities reviewing video showing Atlanta police shooting and killing Rayshard Brooks when he ran away after allegedly resisting arrest.
I don't want anyone in any circumstances to rush to any form of judgment.
Okay. I think we saw enough of that video to get to the point of the conversation, right? What are some of the things you guys, first and foremost, right? Y'all are black men before y'all are law enforcement agents. So I want to get your opinion as a black man. What do you think? And what I mean by that is, you know, just if that was your brother, if that was your son, if that was your cousin, if that was you. And then I want to get your expert opinion as law enforcement on what should we do so that won't be us.
Well, I may have started this last time, so. As a black man, I'd be pissed off. You know, I am pissed off. You know, I would be very angry that my brother was killed when he was asleep in a drive-thru. I would feel like it's very unnecessary. It shouldn't have happened. He should still be alive today. As a professional and going through the training and everything else, was it unnecessary? I believe it could have been avoided in several different ways for several different things. Like, personally, I wouldn't have locked him up. Was it lawful? Probably. And the reason I say probably is because, remember 2 weeks before that, Paul Howard, who charged Roth and those two officers, he came on when the officer tased the kids and the college kids at the downtown with the taser.
Yeah, the Morehouse experiment.
Right. He said that the reason he charged them is because they used a deadly weapon, and the taser is considered a deadly weapon under Georgia law. Well, the Supreme Court says the taser is a passive aggressive tool, one step up from the mace. So on your duty belt, you have mace. And the laws of force and the levels of force, you go mace versus officer presence.
Yep.
Then you have the mace.
Yep.
Then you have the taser. Then you have Aspeton or Billy Club, whichever one your department carries. And then you have deadly force.
Can you explain to us what the protocol you're talking about, what that means? What
levels of force? And the Supreme Court says that if you as the person go one level, I'm allowed to go one level above your level to take control. So if you're yelling combative, I can mace you. If mace doesn't work, I can go to the next level and so forth. You can keep climbing that ladder until you get to deadly force. It's almost like, and it's sad, deadly force is anything that you do that can kill me or cause permanent bodily harm, I can use deadly force. So if you have a brick in your hand and you're about to throw this big brick, the Supreme Court says shoot you. And if you've ever been to the range, there are no legs and arms on the target, whether it be police, military, anybody that professionally trains you to shoot.
Right.
We went today. There are no legs on a real target.
Hey, one thing, I'm sorry, I just want to, one point that you just made, I really want to just touch on, is that people need to understand that when you pose any type of threat to another person or to law enforcement, they're gonna look at it like, you could hurt me, so I have to hurt you first. That threat could be a scissor in your hands. That threat, like you said, could be a brick. It does not have to be a firearm. When you threaten another person, you got to understand how serious of an action that is that you're taking. You cannot do things and put your hands on people. I'm sorry to even bring this up, y'all, but Megan Thee Stallion and her boyfriend, I don't really follow rap that heavy, so I don't remember his name, Tory something, right? I by myself, first and foremost, I would never want to shoot a woman. I would never want to. I would pray that I ain't even put in that situation. But you cannot put your hands on any person and not think that person will respond. Because what if she picked up a bottle while they fighting and you hit them with a bottle? It don't matter if you're a man, woman, whoever you are. You hit somebody with a bottle, that's a life-changing injury, right? Okay. So you got to understand, when you use force, a person's going to protect themselves however they feel like they need to. Now, I want to hear what you're saying, but I just want to bring that up because we got people out here watching that don't understand. In a split second, your action can change the whole course of your life forever. Because when you step up and use force, you got to understand what that means. And a lot of us get angry. A lot of us get anxious. A lot of us don't think. And when we do stuff, that can end our life like that. This stuff is real.
Great point.
Mario, before you go, well, first of all, this part right here is definitely heavy, and I think it's very important for our listeners, because when we're all giving our opinions and breaking down these videos, it's interesting when we just say, well, it's just a knife, or it's just a this, or it's just a that, and you don't know what somebody could come with, man. You might pull up on somebody that got some type of training. You just never know. And again, this is not about siding or about what's right and what's wrong. I just think this is so key and important to let people know. And I also thought, which was important too, because that's my first time hearing that breakdown, that y'all literally have 5 different steps before it gets to a certain point, unless your life feels, like you feel like your life is in danger. I think that's important for the people to know too. Because now it's making me think of how many times did I see when an officer just out of nowhere pepper sprays somebody, right? And we see, a lot of times that them people be in their face and they be rude and belligerent and all this. And Mario, I'm glad you said what you said, because it's like I watch these videos. I try to be cautious about what I do post, but at the same time just showing the different sides to certain things. And it's just, I'm glad that you broke that down, because people don't realize that even in the heat of a moment, you're making quick decisions on what's the best way to stop a situation. So go ahead, Mario. I'm sorry. I just need to say that real quick.
Powerful words, brother. Powerful.
And mind you, I'm speaking of just the law. I'm not speaking of what I would have done. Now,
right.
Personally, I've never locked nobody up for DUI. I feel like it's a bad decision, and sometimes I don't even want to deal with that paperwork. I'm just gonna be honest. So I've always, the few people that I have stopped for DUI, I've taken them home. Really, I've taken them home, and I have a best friend who I stopped for DUI, and to this day, he wasn't my friend before then.
Right.
He is my friend now. Like there, Johnny on the spot. And I think sometimes people need that wake up. Like in that situation there, I mean, I'm kind of a big dude, so I feel like I would have been able to restrain him a little bit better. I'm detached from the whole fight or flight thing. So like, if you're running and I feel like I can't catch you, I'm probably not going to even chase you. So you know what, you won today, forget it. I'm gonna just tow the car. That's my win and call it a day. I don't think he should be dead. I just think that it's a very unfortunate situation that all of them are in, whether it be him, the officers, and so forth. And Paul Howard fumbled the ball all the way around. Like the ball was completely fumbled. Ralph is going to get off because protocol wasn't done when firing him. None of due process was done. None of that was done. He's going to get off. People are going to be angry when he do get off. And it's going to be a bad situation. Like, that whole situation is horrible.
Yeah.
Hey, Mario, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I want to leave the last 5 minutes for our viewers to be able to comment, because I feel like this is such an emotional moment, and we just people talking from our opinions. Y'all are giving a professional background, but I want to also make sure people have time to be able to comment, because I feel like it's only fair for how deep this is. You know what I mean? And that's why I want to do this as a series also, because I feel like we can't touch on this without letting people, you know, somebody who lost a family member is going to be watching this. They deserve to be able to say their part too. So I want to play this last video, and then I want to get y'all's comment on that, so that way we can leave some time for people to comment. But thank you so much, brother. What you sharing is you sharing real knowledge right now, real knowledge.
Right on it, Mario.
Let me play this last one.
This morning, another American city is rocked by.
I feel like, how can I possibly not get this? Okay,
caught on video.
Guys,
Angry protest. This morning, another American.
Yep.
Okay, you can. All right, thank you.
American city is rocked by outrage over the police shooting of a black man. It was all caught on video. Angry protests led to an overnight curfew in Kenosha, Wisconsin. That's between Milwaukee and Chicago. The man who was shot, 29-year-old Jacob Blake, is now in a Milwaukee hospital. Our national correspondent, Jerika Duncan, has more on this story, and we have to tell you ahead of time, this video, very tough to watch.
This graphic video posted on Facebook shows the moment an encounter between Jacob Blake and Kenosha police quickly escalated. Screams rang out as police fired at least.
All right, guys. Because this video is so graphic, I don't want to show that much of this one, right? Like this video for me, that one right there hit me harder because they, you know what I'm saying? You see it so much more clearly. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we were able to show enough of that video to be able to get the point of it, right? But that video right there, that's why I wanted this video to be our last one, because I wanted to show it as it escalated, right? That man posed no threat. He was walking away, no weapon, no violence. He was there, from my understanding, breaking up a fight between two women. He was there breaking up a fight, right? Which is another thing we got to talk about. We can't keep putting other people in danger with our actions. And this is not me trying to pass judgment on anybody. I don't know enough of the situation to even do that. But we got to understand, everything we do has a real life consequence to it. When we do stuff, we put other people in danger. But he wasn't a threat. He had no weapon. He didn't attack. When you look at how the officer grabbed him, he didn't even grab him forcefully. You get what I'm saying? Like, his life in no way was in jeopardy. Now, he could say, I don't know what he grabbing out the car. You didn't even give him a chance to go to the car for you even to feel like that. You shot that man in the back, right? So I just wanted us to be able to share as we escalate these situations. Now,
Keith, Chef, you don't mind me, let me jump in on this one first, man.
Add the part that he did have a knife.
Oh, he did have a knife.
Yeah, in the body cameras, you can hear and see the police. You can see the knife, and you can hear the officers telling him to drop the knife. Go ahead.
Okay. Again, like I said, I don't know.
All right, no, that's fine, because everybody saw what we all just saw.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, Chef, you just added another element to it. See, I haven't heard that part of it. Didn't see that part of it yet. But I got to tell you, my first reaction, I was sick to my stomach, because I said, "Here we go again." Have we not learned anything? Even if he had the knife, as you said, Chef, I saw 4 law enforcement officers walking behind this guy. And if he's going to his car, that would have been a takedown for me. I would have took him down. And I know hindsight is 20/20. Adrenaline is pumping. We can sit here and quarterback it all day. But he had 3 kids, was it 2 or 3 kids in the car? He's walking from the passenger side around the front of the vehicle. He wasn't running, he was walking. Now, at the very worst, maybe tased before he got away. But to let him get to that it would have been a takedown. He would have got tackled at the very minimum. And then see them as he pulled on the t-shirt.
You can grab it.
Point blank. That was point blank to me.
Yeah.
And and I'm just gonna be honest with you. As a black man, I'm just gonna be honest with you. And I know I may hurt, so I may get roasted by some more law enforcement officers. That was unnecessary, man. That to me, I said to myself, here we go again. Because from what that looked like for me, from a trained law enforcement officer, that was excessive.
Oh, it was extremely excessive. The knife, me adding that he had a knife was only just to add that piece that some people may not have seen yet.
It's factual information. You got to get a fact so that we can have a valid conversation. Hey, I want to add too also, guys, my fault to cut you off, bro. If y'all want to make a comment and you want us to be able to discuss your comment, please go to the Rolling Out Magazine Facebook page, leave your comments under the video, and I got somebody who's letting me know about the comments, so that way we can respond live. So go to Rolling Out Magazine Facebook page, because that's the easiest way for us to check the comments. Leave a comment and we'll discuss it here. We got one comment already, but I want to hear you guys, whatever your thoughts are, and then I'll go into our first comment.
When I saw that video, it hurt, because I'm like, and I know we on a platform, so I won't curse, but it was a bunch of BS. Like, knife or not, he should have, like he put him down a long time ago. If he was that much of a threat, take him down, tackle him. He had the knife, and when you see the video with the knife was close to his belly, and he was holding it close. So if you would have tased him, he wouldn't have fell on it. And you could have tackled him. And if you can grab his shirt, that passively,
yeah,
you can grab his arm and you can yank his behind out of that car and throw him to the ground.
Exactly.
I'd rather get in trouble for punching you in the mouth and slamming you on your head than shooting you. The last thing that most of us, well, I wouldn't even say most of us, me and Sarge want to do is shoot you.
Yep.
Exactly. Hey, y'all, real quick, I don't have a video for this, but I will have it next week. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to leave that video for next week conversation. When we follow up, because it's got to be a series. We got to give people a time to get involved. I'm going to have another video where I want to look at some more stuff. Josh, before I read the comment, you want to throw in anything? You got any thoughts you want to share, brother?
I absolutely do. And this is a whole different spin on it, because this is something that I always say. I'm going home. I'm going to say that again.
Yep. I'm
going home. And I'm talking about from my point of view, not from a police officer's point of view. If I've been, which I have been, but if I'm the person in the situation, comply, don't make it an issue. Go home. Work out the other stuff later. And I think so many times we trying to buck, so many times, even with our intelligence, we want to pose questions and try to uphold the law in some type of way, or man, go home. Yeah. Go home to your wife, go home to your kids, go home to your sofa. We got to get out of this way, because now we're putting the power, we're giving our power away to somebody else just because of our ego or our pride. Even if we're right, like I'm not judging him, or I'm not judging anybody else who's either lost their life or been seriously injured behind these types of situations. But I think we got to get to a point where we can de-escalate a situation by saying, yes, sir, no, sir, sit on the hood of your car, do whatever you got to do, politely lay down, follow instruction, go home. Yeah. That's why they got attorneys. That's why they got other ways to fight this thing, man, in this situation. And I'm tired of seeing it where we doing this type of shit. Just go home. And excuse my language, but it just bothers me from that standpoint, because I know I've been, I've helped myself in the times that I've been stopped or handcuffed or went to jail just because playing that game and just saying, you know what, big dog, you got it. Because I don't know what officers are still human. They going through divorces. They got problems at home. They got, you know what I'm saying? And another thing, Keith, and I want to make sure I remember this, because I asked some good questions too, because I want to know And that's where I'm going with this. Even as Black men being police officers, what pushback you get from your fellow white officers, or what pushback you might get from the officers in your community if they feel you don't move a certain way. This thing is deep. That's why this conversation is so needed. And it's on my spirit, and it's heavy, because even in mentoring programs, Keith, the same way I met you just listening to the young men, you know, and all these situations that come up, man, like leave that pride and that ego, put that to the side. Go the hell home. Even if you got to be locked up for a couple hours, it's better if you have a case and they did something out of pocket. More times than none, you'll probably be able to get you some money or sue or get off or whatever, but go home. Yeah. It ain't worth your life. That's what's heavily on my heart, man, because so many times guys is arguing, going back and forth, even if you complying. I seen another dude that got shot in his chest with his hands up.
Yeah.
But because of his demeanor, I don't know. I'm not saying that he deserved that at all. The officer was wrong. But just whatever you got to do, just go home. Just go home.
I want to say this, right? I remember, and I was dead wrong in this situation. I'm out selling drugs. Police run up on me, right? And I'm sitting inside of a car. I had 3 guns in the car. When the police ran up on me, I told them, I said, hey, they ran up from both sides, right? I told them, I said, hey, y'all got me? I just want to let y'all know I got 3 guns in the car. If you don't mind, can I grab the guns, put them on the dashboard? I don't want no problems. I was like, if you want to, I can tell you where they at, or I can get them for you. The officer told me to grab the guns, one hand. I put the guns on the dashboard. He told me to do this. That officer beat when I tell you I got abused, man, I got hurt so bad after that, right? And I'm thinking that I'm doing, that I'm doing it. I'm trying to resolve it the most logical way. I want to let you know I got guns in the car. But they use that as an excuse to be able to show why they use force on me, right? We only got 3 minutes. I want to read these comments that we got. We got Jasmine, and she says the issue is that when a Black person resists arrest, they are more likely to be harmed or killed by police officers than non-people of color. Now, I've seen so many intoxicated people who were not Black go in on police officers, go in on them. And the police officer backing up like, I don't want to get hit. I'm sorry, and I'm sitting here looking like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is going on, right? So that's our first comment. If y'all want to say anything about that, then, feel free. We got one more comment also, and I want to read their comment. But if y'all got a comment on that, we only got 2 minutes. If y'all got something y'all want to say to that.
What?
Nah.
Is she talking?
It's jacked up. It's messed up. I can say that. It's messed up because if I've seen 2 different cases where a non-Black or white, let's just say a white person got arrested and got accosted by and was messing with the police, and they tried to talk him down. Black person, something less or about the same. He's in handcuffs. She's in handcuffs on the ground.
Perfect example. You shoot up a church. You come out with a bulletproof vest on, right? Now, that's what it looked like when you're not Black. Now, this is the other comment that we have. I don't know who this is from, but it says, would you guys like the opportunity to work in public safety or be a public safety servant under an organization that's not affiliated with the police? I'm gonna say this. That question probably needs a little bit more detail to it. If y'all want to, you can go to our website. The website is makingthetransition.org, and you can send me an email in the comments, and I'll make sure I get that to you guys, because I know for a fact that, Sarge, you already do those things, and a lot of law enforcement officers volunteer in different ways, but you need to let them know what would that, exactly what would that entail and how would they be able to do it. Guys, we got 1 minute. If anybody want to close out with something strong, feel free to close out. One thing I will say is I co-sign with Josh. You got to get home to your family. I don't care what's going on. Get home to your family. It's not everybody's fault. I'm not trying to say that, but do everything in your power, because that person in front of you is not who matters. Who matters is those people at home waiting on you. Get home to your family. If y'all got anything y'all want to close out with, guys, 1 minute.
I just want to say real quick, Josh, I appreciate that comment, man, because you took a whole different spin on that situation. And a lot of times if people just think about, just like officers, we want to go home, you want to go home. So let's go home, man. It's not the time to be an attorney. It's not the time to be a street lawyer. Go home.
And it's not the time to fight for your pride either.
Right. So great point, Josh. I thank you, man. And thank you, Keith, again for the opportunity, brother.
Thank y'all. Hey guys, like I said, this is a series. This ain't gonna be the only night. So we need to keep this conversation going because it's too deep to have it in one night.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. All right, it's 10 o'clock, so we out of here. But thank y'all so much.
Man, appreciate y'all, Kings, for real. Appreciate y'all.